Hello everyone, I'm Paul Ferguson. With me is Richard Beaupre. Welcome to World Championship Ice Hockey on Eurosport. Our coverage continues today with games from the top teams in the medal round.
Big crowd in attendance, looking for the kind of hockey that they've been expecting throughout this tournament, the Final Four.
Well, let's take a look at those four teams as the crowd really gets set for this one. The Soviets are here. They've won 6, tied 1, no losses, 13 points, and these guys are deadly.
A very powerful skating team with a lot of world-class experience.
The Swedes finished in second after the first phase of the competition with 3 wins, 4 ties, no losses, and they can also put the puck in the net right till the end of the period. The Canadians, a lot of NHL class on the team, 1-4, tied 1, 2 losses, 9 points, finished ahead of the Americans, and they've got scoring power. The Americans are here too.
A youthful team with a lot of ability, and they can beat anybody on the day.
They won 3, tied 2, and lost 2, and they just edged out the Finns to finish in that 4th and final position. The table, well, they have no points because they have lost all the points going into the second round. They'll start from scratch. The Soviets, the Swedes, the Canadians, and the Americans, the 4 best in the world.
The Soviets are favored, the Americans are the Cinderella team, the Swedes and the Canadians are very tough as well.
Trefilov will start in goal. Fetisov, he's been around for years, the big defenseman. Kravchuk, one of my favorites. Malahov is improving all the time out. Kosarov with NHL experience. Byakin, a hustler, goes up and down the wing. Kazanov and Konstantinov, also with NHL experience.
They'll play the body, and up front, Pavel Bure, number 10. Everybody in the world trying to sign this young kid. Nemchinov is a very good forward, number 12. Kamensky, one of the top scorers in the tournament. Watch out for him, and the experience of Makarov.
Semak at center with Butsayev and Zamnov. We saw him last time out, scored a couple of goals. Bykov, number 27. Watch him too. He can really pump him in from anywhere. The Americans, they're the underdogs. Last time out, they were beaten 12-2. Van Beesbroek will be the goaltender. The New York Rangers star is here, putting in a fine performance. Tredowicz, the college defenseman, is playing well. Weinrich, Wolonen, Peterson, Sacco, Manto, Goslin, and Williams, they're all playing well, but do they have the stuff to stay with the Soviet Union?
They've got a good mix of college and NHL players. Amonte, one of the stars in the university ranks. He's going to be a great NHLer. McEachran's another one. Krieger, he's got great wheels, a very fast forward up front. Scored the big goal against the Finns. Brian Mullen, a very class NHL player. Dave Emma, the winner of the Hobie Baker Award for College Player of the Year. And young Jeremy Roenick, a star with the Chicago Blackhawks. He can do it all.
So the face-off, the Americans from right to left. Tredowicz gets that off the boards, and the Americans really will have their hands full from beginning to end. Kevin Miller got that up. We have 3 Swedish officials, Johansson, Enested, and Lerkingh, handling this game, and Fetisov, 32-year-old star, now with the New Jersey Devils, shot that one in, and Momenta along the boards. The pass intended for Cole. Mullen just over the line, and Kamensky goes for a skate, runs into the official. Mullen is all over him. Fetisov puts it to the far side to Gusarov. Miller takes his man out of the play, and I think that to stay with the Soviets, the USA are going to have to be physical.
They're going to have to play the body all over the ice. Coach Tim Taylor is well aware of that.
The Americans were last in the medal round in 1985, and they would dearly love to pick up gold, silver, or even bronze this time round. Right in front, the loose puck is there. Trefilov is down. Krieger goes after it. Roenick was buzzing beside the net. Now it's right in front. Roenick trying to get the handle on it, couldn't get the shot away, and the Americans putting on the pressure in the first minute of play. Offside is the call as Nemchinov skated down the ice with Lomakin. And both of them with Nemchinov on the right-hand side, just a bit too keen to get over that blue.
American defenseman stepping up at the blue line. Nemchinov couldn't keep himself on sides.
A great picture there. Tells the story that ice hockey is a family sport, enjoyed by all ages, both sexes. throughout the world. Tredowitz, the return pass along the boards to Krieger. Krieger gets that out of the zone, and the Soviets close in to pick it up. Roenick. Still with Roenick. Roenick gets that into the corner, and that takes a bobble away from Krieger. He gets it to the far side. Weinrich flips it back into the corner. Semak tries to get it out and gets it as far as the hash marks. Tredowitz will get there first. Weinrich roughing it up in the corner. Unlucky to get away with that one. Amonte brings it down the ice, gives it off to Malley. Malley on the backhand side. Had that one bounce off Kazanov. Malley stays on his man as Konstantinov now gets it forward. Zamnov flips it into the center of the ice, and the Soviets wait for support as they put it into the corner. Zamnov of the Soviets goes up against Peterson. Peterson to the far side, looking for Fitzgerald. Tapped back in by Konstantinov. Kozlov, number 9, being shadowed all the way back to the blue. Malley tries to kick it out over the line. Still it's Kozlov. Makarov. Peterson along the boards. And the Soviets looking to get a change out there as Makarov loses it at center ice, tries to get it back. And McEachern goes for a breather.
Both teams changing.
Wolonen tried to get his stick on that. Zelapukin was taken heavily out of the play, and the Americans looking to string that simple pass together. Couldn't do it on that occasion. And the whistle blows for the offside pass. So a good start for both teams. They're shaking off the cobwebs. And Viktor Tikhonov will be happy with his performance so far in this tournament. But now it's all about medals.
Replay there, Zamnov being brought down. The play continued, another player being brought down. This is the kind of thing the Americans have got to do. They've got to take the body and keep the Russians from really creating a flow offensively.
Byakin to the far side. Nice little tip up. Gutseyev. Tredowitz along the boards for Sacco. Back into the corner. Tredowitz being shadowed there by Kvartlov. All the way back to the blue. Malahov took the shot. Zamnov tried to keep it in. And that goes back to number 4, Malahov. Bringing it out slowly is Butseyev. Along the boards, dump and run. Wolonen gets there first. And that comes out into the neutral zone. No one there to collect. And eventually ends up at the far end of the rink. And we'll have our first icing call.
Both teams feeling each other out.
Everyone in the NHL is after Pavel Buda. Oh, that's in the net! Van Biesbroek partially screened on that. Fetisov. Well, surely that wasn't a shot. It was more of a pass. He just laid it on and it trickled through.
Very harmless looking wrist shot from Fetisov at the blue line. Van Biesbroek, he's looking through a couple of players. It's directed toward the goal. Just appears to go off a skate in front of Van Biesbroek, and it's behind him.
So first blood to the Soviets here in the first period with just over 4 minutes gone. Fetisov with the shot on Van Biesbroek. I'm sure Van Biesbroek would like to have another shot at that one. Well, when you're playing at this level, it's not the kind of thing you like to see go in, whether you're a player or a spectator. You want to see the good goals come. I'm not knocking that one. It counts on the scoreboard, but it's nothing really to rave about, especially for Fetisov. He's been noted for scoring some spectacular goals. The goal scorer picks it up and gets it into the neutral zone. Bykov tapped that forward, taken out by Manta. along the boards. Danton Cole getting a shove in there. Bykov drops it back nicely. Bykov runs into Wolonen. It's going to be the first penalty of the game. High sticking is the call.
Crowd reaction as Danton Cole spins a couple of circles. Glares over at the referee, but it won't matter. He's going to get called anyways. High sticking. Not the kind of penalty the Americans can afford to take. They don't want to give the Soviets the power play. There's Cole taking Pavel Bure out along the boards. That's where the infraction occurred. The Soviets have scored 10 power play goals so far in the tournament. Not to be given too many chances.
24-year-old Winnipeg Jet star Danton Cole in his second time out for the USA team overseas. Will sit for a couple as Kravchuk starts it out for the Soviets on the power play. Breaking hard, the Soviets mean business. Nemchinov picks it up at the blue to the far side. A lot of time. Mironov, the shot. Van Biesbroek is down, the loose puck is right there. Lomakin got a swipe at it. The return pass, that's in the net. A power play goal. Mironov, number 14, celebrates for the Soviets.
The Soviets made that look quite easily. A lot of action around the front of the goal. Nemchinov is taken out. Some good hustle from Lomakin. He keeps the puck going. All of the Americans have come back too deep. 14, Mironov comes in from his blue line spot. Van Biesbroek is down. No way he's going to get back up.
He's totally out of it. The goaltender we're talking about lost his stick. He's struggling to get up. Big attempt there to get the glove up, but he just can't stop that puck. 2-0 now the score with just over 5 minutes gone. That was a power play goal from the Soviets, and they really do look sharp. Konstantinov, and we're going to have another penalty on the play. Krieger's not happy about that, and the Americans are in all sorts of trouble out there. Krieger will sit for 2, and we'll take a short break as the Swedish official gives the high-sticking sign there, the hooking sign to the scoreline. Welcome back to the first period. The Soviets lead this one 2-0 as we take a look at Krieger. And the scorekeeper, not the scoreliner, is writing down his name, taking his number. That's his 4th penalty of the tournament. And once again, the Americans are a man down.
I'm sure that Tim Taylor's going to have a word about the discipline. Come on, guys, it's nice to have the adrenaline flowing. It's nice to be psyched up for a game, but you've got to use your heads. We can't afford to take penalties like this. Soviets are really going to make them pay the price if they're in the penalty box the whole game.
Kazanov up on the wing. Kozlov to the far side. Rock to Kozlov, and he was taken out of the play. The net was open. Van Biesbroek had gone the wrong way, and the Soviets looked so relaxed. Zamnov takes a hit along the boards, does a couple of pirouettes, and brings himself right back into the play. Zamnov drops it back. Makarov, oh, it's so pretty out there watching the Soviets throw the puck around. Konstantinov. Kasatonov flips it in. Zamnov again dumped to the ice with 1:15 on the penalty. Kozlov right in front. Makarov. Kozlov, Makarov right in front. He couldn't get the handle on that. And the Soviets will have to come out and regroup.
Makarov on the power play with 2 kids. It's not going to be the last time you'll hear these names. 26, Zamnov is a 20-year-old, and number 9, Kozlov is an 18-year-old. They're going to be around for a while.
Where do they get him from? All the way back to the blue. Kasatonov, the return shot. That takes a deflection off Weinrich. Weinrich goes in after his man, and the Soviets still hang on to it. Kozlov skates behind the goal. Konstantinov picks it up at the blue. Makarov takes the shot. That goes off of Goslin and is eventually cleared down the ice with 22 seconds on the U.S. penalty. Kasatonov to Bykov, drops it back. A lot of passes before they get into the neutral zone. Kusatov, everyone touches the puck when you're out on the ice with the Soviet team. Kamensky tried to get a handle on that, and Fetisov to the far side. The Americans have successfully killed off the penalty. Krieger steps back on the ice. Weinrich tries to bring it out, gets it along the boards. Krieger with Danton Cole. Weinrich up slowly to the blue. Cole turns and goes the other way. The return pass is nice into the neutral zone. Roenick on the left wing. Miller, rather, dumped just at the hash marks, and Bykov picks it up. Pavel Buре now. The Americans starting to put in some forechecking. Cole couldn't hang on to that, and that's tipped back. Cole. Gusarov with Fetisov, and Fetisov gets it in the corner. The Soviets threading that into the neutral zone. Manta looking for someone to pass to. Gusarov gets a glove on it. Pavel Buре. Roenick goes after him, but he can't get the puck. That's all the way down the ice. Not far enough for an icing, and the Americans trying to regroup and bring it out. The long pass intended for Krieger is too far. Butseyev gets it to Malahov. The long pass right up the middle. Manta intercepts and clears it out of the zone. Byakin shoots it back in. 9 minutes gone on the first period. The score is the Soviet Union 2, the Americans 0. Byakin. The long pass. Peterson. Goslin. McEachern taps it forward nicely. Roenick to the far side. Intended for Amonte. To McEachern. Back to Amonte. Too hard for him. McEachern right in front. Amonte couldn't get the shot away, and the break is on now. The Soviets. The shot there coming from Bartolov. McEachern picks it up along the boards and tries to get it out to Malley. It's tapped back in, and again, pressure from the Soviets. Peterson off the boards hard to the blue. Malley breaks up the center of the ice, and the Americans shoot it into the corner. McEachern goes after it and loses out on that contest. Malley, midway point in the first period. The Americans now starting to grow in confidence as Weinrich gets it in. Malley slams on the brakes, goes the other way. Fitzgerald, the shot, the save is there. Trefilov gets his first real taste of the action since the first minute mark. Semak wide of the target, and that goes to the far side.
Good end-to-end action. Both teams opening the play up. Not taking the body very much. It's pretty offensive-minded at the moment.
Tredowitz. A lot of room to skate as he goes forward with McNeil. That comes off his skates. And back on the attack now, the Soviets. Lomakin flips that into the corner. Mironov to the far side to Nemchinov. Taken out of the play nicely by Tredowitz. But the Soviets pick it up behind the goal. A lot of time to come out. Van Biesbroek makes the save. Nemchinov can't get the shot away. Semak is there. Now that's in the net. Nemchinov eventually got a stick to it. And Van Biesbroek is in trouble.
John Van Biesbroek very slow to react to the shot. There's a lot of action around the front of the goal. Good pressure being applied by the Soviets. They're really hungry for the puck. Nemchinov just kind of shoots it through a few skates. There's the original shot from Lomakin. The rebound, Van Biesbroek's back up. He appears to be ready. Shot is taken. He just can't quite get the handle on it. There you see it. It's coming through the skates. Quick shot. Van Biesbroek reacts, just gets a piece of it, but it's behind him for goal number 3.
Nemchinov with 2-2 in the series. With 11:08 gone in the first period. It's now 3-0 for the Soviets. Kazatanoff being chased by McNeil. And that save comes from Trefilov. Wolinen has a chance for a shot to the far side, and Kozlov picks it up and slows it down, gets it right in front. A brave move from him, but he saw that Kazatanoff was there all alone. Makarov sidesteps Brown, and the whistle blows. Makarov always looking so relaxed out there with that wide skating style.
The He's got a very wide stance. He stays low to the ice, but he's like a snake the way he moves back and forth, side to side. He's very hard to hit. And with a low center of gravity, he's very hard to take off the puck. The Americans are going to have to start taking the body more. They don't want to get into one of these freewheeling type of games with the Soviets. They'll be skated into the ice.
Makarov, a long pass, takes the deflection, picked up at the blue line. Zamnov got his skate to that, and the Americans now fire it all the way into Soviet territory, but Makarov is there to pick it up. Just over 12 minutes gone in the first period. The Soviets having a free rein out here. Kozlov dropping it back to Zamnov. Zamnov along the boards. Miller on him, and again it's freedom around that net. And that's in the net! Fetisov waltzed in from the blue line, unmolested, and was allowed to poke that into the goal. Van Biesbroek again stranded.
The experience of Fetisov, he sees his spot, he picks it, and he comes flying in from the blue line. There he is, sneaking in behind everybody, reads the play. The Americans are all standing around in their own zone. There's Fetisov, puts it upstairs over Van Biesbroek.
Van Biesbroek has been going down a lot, he's flopping a lot, and that's a sign that he's not settled into this game. The Americans bring it out now. And that takes a deflection into the crowd. We're going to take a short break. Join us in a moment with more action from Finland. We'll be right back. Still in the first period, and the Americans are struggling. They really are going through a bad patch, a lot of pressure from the boys in red. No, I may have said the Soviets are struggling. I mean, the Americans are struggling. Pavel Buda tries to get a stick on that as that goes all the way back to Weinrich. 13 minutes in the first period have elapsed. Kosatov takes his man out, and the Americans start to hit along the boards.
The Americans are going to have to keep taking the body. They can't let the Soviets freewheel and cruise into their zone.
Amonte along the left wing, dropping that back for Roenick. Roenick squeezed out of the play. Pavel Buda doing a great job of back-checking. Eventually gets the pass, or tried to get it up to Kamensky. Weinrich had something to say about it and put it into the far corner. McEachern. Manta. The long pass close to the blue. Fitzgerald. Way offside. The Americans just too keen to get over that blue line.
Tom Fitzgerald skating around the world here. Comes from the left wing into the center, over toward the right wing. He's got two men up front with him. It's basically a 3-on-2 situation. One back checker coming back, but he's not really in the play yet. And they get their lines crossed up and are well offsides.
Face off in the neutral zone. McEachern gets it back. The return pass. Malley takes a shot, and that's deflected off of Butsayev right out front. That misses the goal. It's wide open. It's in the net. The big defenseman, Craig Wolonen, was there to put it into the open net, and everyone in the rink, except for the Soviet supporters, is on their feet.
Well, the Americans needed something to happen for them. McEachern, with all kinds of time in the slot, shoots it wide. Very well read by Craig Wolonen. Comes in from his blue line spot. There you see him breaking toward the goal. Trefilov is well and truly out of the play. He's gone way out to take the shot away from McEachern. There's no way he's going to get back. Wolonen's just got to put it to the backhand and tuck it in. Nicely done.
Wolonen, Quebec Nordique star, has brought the Americans back into the game. 4-1 the score. And that's the kind of thing they needed to get themselves pumped up. The Swedish referee not happy with what's happening at center, so Johansson calls for them to change the personnel. It's eventually tipped back in, and Mironov The defenseman gets it over to Kravchuk. Kravchuk taken out of the play. Semak comes in to help out. And Brown is doing a great job of forechecking. Brown picks it up in the corner now. The Americans have put themselves into action. The shot, that's in the goal! And the Americans have come right back. Sacco with Brown doing some great forechecking in the far corner. The score is now 4-2.
This is the kind of game the Americans have got to play. Take the body, get in there and forecheck hard, not let the Soviets wind up and get out of their zone. There you can see Joe Sacco, he sticks with it, the puck comes out. Trefilov once again caught floundering, he can't get back over to that side of the goal quick enough. Sacco manages to slip it behind him. Well, he said the Americans needed a break, now they've gotten two. What can they do? Can they get themselves back into this one? 4-2, they're down.
First point of the tournament there for Sacco. 14:25 gone in the first period. Now this is becoming a game. Tredowitz. The pass into Cole. Cole gets it up on the right wing. Mullen takes his man out. Cole picks it up along the boards. He's got Miller out front. The shot, that takes a deflection. There's going to be a penalty on the play. The Americans still in possession. Mullen right out front. High and into the far corner. Konstantinov touches that, and the Soviets will be called for holding.
This is just what the Americans wanted. This is what their game plan was from the beginning. Forecheck hard, let's be aggressive. It's been proven that the Soviets can be susceptible if they're penned in their own zone. They don't like it, they like to be able to freewheel. They're in a lot of trouble. The veteran, Vladimir Konstantinov, forced to put the hold on. Dave Tredowitz nearly had a goal as he came in from his blue line spot. Took the wrist shot just over the goal. The Americans are on a good spell.
Tikhonov must be concerned at this point. He had a 4-0 lead just a moment ago as we approach the 15-minute mark of the first period. It's now 4-2. Wolonen and Sacco have struck quickly for the Americans. Weinrich reached for that one and couldn't get it. Pumped to the far side. Tredowitz all the way in. Kosatov takes a hit there from Mullen. That goes out, and Bykov picks it up. Watch this guy, he's dangerous. Bykov gets it away from Mullen and Miller. Kazatanoff. Kosatov slowly down the ice. Van Biesbroek comes out and leaves it there. Bykov will go after his man.
The Americans have scored 6 power play goals, but they've also allowed 8 shorthanded goals scored on them. They've got to be careful. This is where the Soviets can be dangerous.
Some sloppy play. Kamensky and Bykov can do the damage out there. They've got the puck now, eventually taken out of the play. Roenick taps that forward on the right wing. The rebound comes to Roenick, and he's brought down. The Swedish official says, play on, play on. Kazatanoff to the far side. Kosatov takes the shot. Van Biesbroek makes the save way out of his goal. And the Americans now slow it down and get it out of the zone. 40 seconds on the penalty. Less than 4 minutes on the first period. USA are going through a change here, and the Soviets are taking advantage of the situation to hang on to the puck and kill off this penalty. Goslin. Guy Goslin. A long pass right up the center, intended for number 3. Amonte just didn't come off. 12 seconds on the penalty. Not a great power play from the Americans. Lomakin to the top of the circle. Lomakin fakes the shot. He'll go for a skate to kill off this penalty. All the way back to the top of the circle. Van Biesbroek is there. The loose puck, Nemchinov couldn't get a hold on it, and Krieger puts it away. Roenick and Krieger break hard to the far side to Amonte. Amonte, a nice little move as he spun around and brought down right across the rink, and there's going to be another penalty on the play. Second penalty of the competition. They're playing for gold, silver, and bronze now. The top 4 will play each other once. The Soviets, the Swedes, the Canadians, and the Americans. And the other 4 teams in the tournament fight it out at the bottom of the table. They're out of the medal round. But right now, it's all about pride and gold, silver, and bronze as the Americans have another power play out there. Wolonen hands that one off, and you can see the big red machine lining up on the blue as Roenick goes after it. That's hammered off the plexi all the way down the ice. Mironov getting a piece of that. Weinrich. Krieger. He's got a Monty and Tredowitz. Tredowitz taps that in. Krieger had a chance to pick it up, handed it off to Roenick right in front of Monty, shoots. Oh, and a great save by Trefilov. Monty, number 3, was left right in front of the goal.
Good work from this line. Roenick and Amonte have such a knack for finding each other. They were prep school line mates, enjoying this tournament, playing together again. Amonte would like to have another chance at that one. Has the time, takes a quick wrist shot. Trefilov robs him with the glove.
Well, it's very unusual indeed to see someone wide open in front of a Soviet goal, even on a power play situation. Danton Cole, the long shot there coming from Peterson, again held by Trefilov.
Tom Peterson, another college kid. Good look at him, University of Minnesota, superstar who made the big pass to Krieger for that goal against the Finns. He's enjoying himself. It's good to see a good mix of players here, NHL and college kids. Tim Taylor, of course, involved with the Olympic team, really enjoys getting the college kids out on the ice and getting them the international experience that they need.
112 on the penalty for the Soviet Union. And USA taking their time to get this one going. Danton Cole skates over to it, the long shot coming from Peterson, takes a deflection. Van Biesbroek will have to come way out to Goslin. Kamensky was chasing that. Kamensky and Bykov doing a great job of killing off the penalties for the Soviet Union. Bykov has it now. They really do look like they're out for an afternoon skate. The Soviets are so concerned about how they play, and they're so able to conserve their energy out there. They do what they have to do when they have to do it. Kamensky against Miller. Miller is there with Mullen. Mullen and Miller. Danton Cole, 4-2 the score. That comes right back to the blue. The shot, that takes a deflection. Bykov got in front of that. Goslin goes after him and picks it up. Another penalty on the play. Johansson with his arm in the air takes a look at Peterson. Peterson's off, will be in the neutral zone. Both teams with a man in the penalty box, but in 15 seconds, the Soviets will be back to full strength. Semak. Semak, a rink-wide pass with 1 minute to go on the period. Manta got it up to Wolonen. Wolonen puts it back to Manta. All the way out as far as the hash marks. Period 134 on the penalty. Peterson sitting it out in the penalty box for USA. Lurking, the Swedish linesman, talking to the Americans and telling them to back off. Lomakin along the boards, taken out nicely. The giveaway there is to Semak. Semak eventually loses it to Wolonen. Lomakin takes a chop at it. Fetisov backhands it casually along the boards and gets the return pass. Fetisov takes the shot. The rebound is right there. Fitzgerald picks it up and gets it out of the zone.
The Soviet player down on the ice in front of the American goal. The whistle blows. They'll all go and have a look. Semak getting up slowly. Blood coming out of him onto the ice. There's the action. He skates through the crease. Van Biesbroek letting him know that he's really not supposed to do that. Well, Van Beesbroek very lucky to get away with that one. He clearly gave him a shot.
Van Beesbroek there with a lot of experience with the New York Rangers, showing that he too can be rough. But whoa, that was a bit out of order. 12 seconds now on the clock. Nemchinov loses out, and it's tapped forward by Fitzgerald to the Soviet D. Makarov lets that one fly all the way down the ice. There goes the buzzer to end the first period. It started strongly for the Soviet Union. Fetisov, Mironov, Nemchinov, and Fetisov scoring. And then the Americans coming right back into it with Wolonin and Sakov. The scoreline, the Soviet Union 4, the Americans 2. We're going to take a break now. Join us in a moment for the start of the second period. We'll be right back with more action from Finland. USA, there's the scoreline, 4-2. The Soviets lead it as we get set for this face-off. Johansson, the Swedish referee, has had his fair share of penalties to call in the first period, but he really did miss that one by Van Beesbroek, right at the end of the period. Van Beesbroek, I'll say it correctly this time, as he took a chop at Lomakin.
The goal from Wolonin really lifted the American spirits. They pulled 2 back in the period. Certainly looked as though the Soviets were in control up to that point.
48 seconds on the USA penalty, as the Soviets, playing from right to left, started out all the way along the boards to Kamensky. Gusarov goes deep into his own territory to pick it up. The slow, deliberate build-up. 18 seconds, Fetisov. The penalty time clock ticking away as that's flipped into the far corner. Pavel Bure, stick handling, back to the blue to Fetisov, to the far side, the one-timer. The reshot, that's in the net! The Soviets have scored another one. Van Beesbroek was beaten on a power play goal.
Big shot from the point. The save is made off a pad, but it goes back. Once again, the Americans standing around. There's a shot from the blue line. The pad save is made. The Americans can't get control of it. The defensemen don't move quick enough to take Bykov out of the play. They're all watching. Bykov drills it high over Van Beesbroek, who was down on his knee.
Bykov picks up his 3rd goal of the tournament. 5-2 now. Another power play goal there, and the Soviets coming out firing on all cylinders here in the second period. Weinrich taps that forward to Krieger. Krieger goes for a skate now. Down the center of the ice, Krieger tips that off, and there really wasn't any communication there. A 2-on-1 break, 3-on-1 break now. The shot, and Van Beesbroek missed it. But the shot came from Lomakin. It wasn't a hard one. He really did kind of fan on that. Krieger now breaks. Krieger going in on the backhand side. Tries to get it across, and a great defensive move there by Kravchuk. Kravchuk to Nemchinov.
Kravchuk did well to get back. Krieger's the guy that can really fly. Kravchuk showing he's not slow either for a defenseman his size. Got back and did a good job.
Mali going up against Kravchuk. Kravchuk really won't let him go anywhere. Comes back to Mali. He takes the shot. It's a weak one. Misses the net. Goslin goes in after it. Tries to get it in front, and he does. The loose puck is there. Trefilov. Mali's banging away on it. Trefilov picks up the puck. Fitzgerald was there, too, to help out.
Trefilov happy that his players remembered him and came back to help him eventually. The play is going to the goal. There's a deflection. Trefilov goes down, bobbles it just for a second. Well, he's bobbling it for about 1 split second. Mali and Fitzgerald are both chopping away at him. USA trying to bring themselves back into this game.
They trail by 3 here in the second period. A brilliant start from the Soviets with Bykov taking that shot from point-blank range. The pass to Zamnov goes under his skate, and McEachern picks it up. Malley lost it along the boards. Kozlov on the left wing. A nice little short pass to Makarov. He got to the far side to Zamnov. As far as the blue line, the shot takes a deflection. And the Soviets now are all over the Americans, throwing the pass around. Makarov looking totally in control. Makarov, one little move there, gets round one man. Makarov waits for support. The backhand pass to Zamnov, right in front. The shot. Konstantinov took the shot, and Van Biesbroek made the save. And the Americans with Fitzgerald to the far side of the ring. No one there to pick it up. Konstantinov gets himself back into the play. He was right in on goal a moment ago, and Konstantinov tips it over the blue.
Both teams changing. It's all Soviets at the moment. They're really in control. The Americans passing looks sloppy. They just can't seem to string anything together.
Kozlov. Gutseyev taken out of the play right on the red line. McNeil coming in to take the shot. Ran into too many red shirts. Gutseyev gets it up. Gutseyev takes the shot. The rebound is right there. And this time, Van Biesbroek makes the save. But I must admit, Van Biesbroek does not look steady out there.
He's had his moments. Quick shot taken high in the slot. Puck is bouncing like mad. Both goalies are really seeing crazy bounces in front of them. A little help from Wallinen to make sure that Van Biesbroek can cover the puck.
Well, I'm going to stick my neck out and say that Coach Tim Taylor should pull the goaltender and put a new one on. I really don't think Van Biesbroek is ready for this one. Williams along the boards. Williams picks up his own rebound. Trefilov watches that go into the corner. Miller goes in hard with Cole. Mullen right out front. No one there with a white shirt on to pick it up. Fetisov collects and goes for a skate in the neutral zone. The Soviets very rarely try to do it on their own. They wait for full team support as Weinrich into Soviet territory. Along the boards, Mullen misses his man, and that's tipped over to Zamnov to the far side. The drop pass right in front. The tip is there. And Van Biesbroek again wide. The net was wide open with Van Biesbroek on the far side of the goal. Zamnov worked his way in nicely. Miller. Mullen. Cole. Mullen waiting out front. And the Americans in all sorts of problems trying to get something going. That's in the net! Well, just when I said they were having trouble, Mullen got the tip. Trefilov was going the other way, and he couldn't stop the motion. A lovely little change of direction. Cole gets it over.
Every time it looks like the Americans are going to get blown out of the rink, they seem to pull something back and get themselves at least back into the game a little bit. A shot from Danton Cole. Not much of a chance for Trefilov on this. Mullen very alertly just gets a stick up and deflects it behind him. That's a nice goal. 7 points in the tournament for Brian Mullen.
5-3 now. Just when we are about to say that the Americans are well and truly out of it, they come back and prove us wrong. Pavel Buda takes a hammering from Krieger. Bykov looking for Kamensky. That's taken off his stick. Mironov is manhandled at the red line. Kamensky to the far side. Krieger. Krieger not afraid to take on the Soviet defenseman. Manta to the far side. Krieger now off the boards, looking for Amonte. Pavel Buda. Buda. One-on-one situation, and this time Wallinen takes him right out of the play. Buda came off second best on that encounter. Jeremy Roenick to Amonte. Amonte takes the shot and misses the net. The USA throwing the passes together now. Pavel Buda to Bykov. Tredowicz goes after him. Tredowicz again gets a skate on it and comes up with the puck.
Good work from the American defense. Wolonen and then Tredowicz, both taking the body well and getting control of the puck.
The quick pass there to McEachern just didn't come off. Pavel Buda gives that up. Amonte shoots it out. Malley goes after it for USA. Malley taken out heavily along the boards. Lomakin still skating with it, takes the shot. The save there from Van Beesbroek. Got the stick on it. Malley shoots it out into the neutral zone. The break is on. Coming down, Trefilov is way out. The save, McEachern is there. That's in the net.
The Americans continue to come up with strange things, and they make it work. Very quickly, the long pass is thrown across. McEachern is off and running. His head is down. Trefilov sees it and comes out and pokes the puck away from him. But there's Tom Fitzgerald coming in to help out. Two Soviets back. Neither one of them can manage to keep the puck from going over the goal line. There's Trefilov, who's well out of the play. Two Soviet defensemen there. They just can't do it. The Americans have pulled back to within one.
Fitzgerald gets his first goal and first point of the tournament. What a way to do it against the Soviet Union. 5-4, the Americans are coming back. Kravchuk along the boards. Makarov loses that, and the Americans really are jumping on these loose pucks. Brown in the corner. Sacco. Still along the boards. Sacco shoots it into the far corner. A lot of stuff happening off the plate with Zamnov going up against Brown. Kravchuk. Makarov. Oh, a nice little move there for Kozlov. And again, Van Beesbroek makes a meal of it. 5-4 the score here in the second period.
The American flags are going. There's a lot of Swedish colors in the crowd cheering for the Americans.
The Americans coming back in force. 4 players around Van Beesbroek to help him out on that one. And this one is far from over. 9 goals have been scored. And it's still only the second period. Butseyev. Wolonen to the far side. Gusarov couldn't keep that in the zone, and Butseyev goes back to the far side. Zelepukin squeezed out of the play, dumped to the ice by Manta. Wolonen to the far side. Cole. A nice pass up to Miller. Miller on the boards. Miller taking on Fetisov. He loses out. The long pass to the far side. Wolonen goes back. A lot of white shirts coming back to help out. Mullen eventually cleared it out. 8 minutes gone in the second period. Fetisov to the far side. Vartalnov shadows his man. Peterson. Danton Cole. Miller takes a shot. That takes a deflection. Manta couldn't get a stick on it. And this time it's the Soviets shooting it down the ice to relieve the pressure.
The 2 goals that the U.S. have scored have really lifted them. They're flying high. They're all over the ice. You can see the players coming off, breathing hard, taking a well-deserved rest. Tim Taylor pumping the boys up, trying to get things going. The Soviets are in a little bit of trouble of their own.
Well, the Soviets are playing without Larionov, Krutov, Tatarinov, and Kristich. 4 of their biggest stars from days gone by, but a lot of people said they didn't need them. They had the talent, they had the depth. But right now, they're under pressure from the United States. Roenick. Amonte. He's got Krieger out front. Roenick in the corner. Too hard for Roenick. Amonte. Krieger. Krieger goes for a skate, takes a hit there from Konstantinov. Roenick goes in to help out. Still along the boards, no one giving anything away. That comes all the way back to Williams. The save there from Trefilov. That comes out to Kamensky. Kamensky with 9 minutes gone in the period, dropping that off. Tipped into the corner by Pavel Buda. Kamensky there to help out with Bykov. Bykov to Kamensky. How they can stick handle in such close quarters, I don't know. Pavel Buda missed that. All the way back to Konstantinov. Kamensky couldn't hang on to that. Roenick along the boards. Monty on the right wing. Roenick.
Look at Weinrich coming to the bench. His arms were flapping. He wasn't pleased. Here he is approaching the blue line. Watch Monty in the right side of your picture, number 3. He's just ahead of Weinrich. Good call by the linesman. The Americans seem pumped up. They're going to have to be careful, though, through all the adrenaline flowing, not to forget positional hockey. The Soviets like to work the puck out wide, and they'll catch him out.
Mironov gets that up along the boards. McEachern shoots it back in. Kravchuk takes a swipe at it. The Soviets happy again to just clear it out of the zone. Good look there at Guy Goslin. Plays hockey in Sweden. Spent some time with Quebec. And Viktor Tikhonov knows he's in a game right now. 5-4 is the score. And it hasn't been all one-way traffic as originally predicted at the start of this one. Trefilov, 22-year-old goaltender for Dynamo Moscow, between the pipes, has looked sharp, but he's also had his moments where he wasn't too sure. At the other end of the rink, John Van Biesbroek, well, for my money, he shouldn't be there. He's not ready for this one. His head isn't in it. A long way to go now as Semak brings it over. Tipped away by Van Biesbroek right in front of the goal. Van Biesbroek goes down, takes a poke at it. We're going to have a penalty on the play. The shot, Semak is there. Mironov came right in. The penalty is going to go against USA. It's a delayed penalty. They touch it, and the whistle blows. High sticking the call.
A lot of action around the front of Van Biesbroek. He came up with a couple of big saves in that situation. Guy Goslin throwing the weight around in front. The puck's still bouncing crazy like mad out there. Actually, Lomakin really gets sat down. Malley's in front of the goal. Goslin comes into the picture. His elbow's high. You can see the referee go to the penalty box and issue a high sticking call. I can believe elbowing, but high stick, I find hard to believe. The stick was way down.
That's right. Goslin's shaking his head. He doesn't believe the call. He thought it was a good check. But he'll be there for 2 minutes, and the Soviets will have another power play. Zamnov in the face-off circle. Well, just for that moment anyway, Kozlov will probably take his place. Kozlov settles down for the face-off now. And the linesmen are really strict on setting up for this face-off, or for any face-off for that matter. I've never really seen so many guys kicked out of the face-off circle. The break with Emma going all the way down the ice. Kazatanoff got to it first, and Emma is seeing duties as a penalty killer. Kozlov, Zamnov, back to Konstantinov. Looking for Zamnov. Kozlov just wasn't hard enough with the pass. Wolonin to the far side, passes it up to Emma. He takes his time with that one to kill it off. Back on the attack now, the Soviets. Makarov losing control just inside the blue line. Dave Emma couldn't get a handle on that. Zamov. Kazatanov. Makarov into the corner. The return pass deflected nicely behind the goal. Makarov is out there. Zamov is out there really jamming up the front of that goal. A lot of pushing and shoving as they set this one up. The Americans trying to maintain that box. Kozlov is out there throwing his weight around, the 18-year-old number 9. It comes all the way over to Fetisov. To the far side. The slap shot comes in. Van Biesbroek makes a save. He goes down. That's in the net. Kozlov, 18-year-old, looks so calm and cool as he put that in the back of the net.
It's fun to watch. Power play situation. Makarov, the experienced 32-year-old who plays for the Calgary Flames. He's out there with a couple of kids. You can see the full face mask. Good backhand shot from young number 9, Kozlov, and he's got a goal.
The save initially from Van Biesbroek. The rebound came right out. Watch the rebound come right out. Kozlov is there, and he makes no mistake on that. 6-4 is the score here in the second period. We're going to take a short break right now. Join us in a minute. Officers are supporting just about everyone. They got the Finnish gear on and the American flag. Another great crowd here in Turku, as that one whistles all the way down the ice. 38 seconds on the penalty. Weinrich runs interference. Kravchuk takes his man out. The Americans now working right in with Amonte, and he just couldn't shoot the puck. Spun off the play as Weinrich goes back into the neutral zone to pick it up. That shot all the way down the ice. Mironov to the far side. That's a giveaway. Amonte's right in front, looking for the pass. It comes over this side to Roenick, who gets it back. Weinrich fakes the shot to the far side. A shot from Amonte. Eventually, the rebound off the boards is cleared out to the blue line. Tredowitz. Semak get the stick on that, and the Soviets are back at full strength. It's a 3-on-2 break. Right in front of the goal. Van Biesbroek goes down, makes the save. Alexander Semak was there. Makarov to the far side. Oh, a lovely little pass by him. The tip is there. Mironov to the side of the goal. Semak will go after this one along with Konstantinov. So many Soviets skating all over the ice. It's almost like they have too many players down there. Van Biesbroek makes a save, goes down, makes another save. Van Biesbroek, with shots coming from all angles, is pulling his game together here in the second period.
Van Biesbroek does well here. One save. Roenick can't clear the puck, loses it. Another save. Van Biesbroek quickly reacts and makes a great third save. A sure goal taken away from Semak, who has 3 shots right here within a few seconds. 1, 2, and now the third one, and it's in the glove of Van Biesbroek. Good job from John Van Biesbroek. Semak going to the bench, shaking his head, bleeding from the lip. He doesn't know what to do to get a goal.
Zamnov and Malley. Zamnov wins it, gets it back to the blue line. The shot, Van Biesbroek makes the save. The rebound comes way out, and it's picked up by Manta. Eventually cleared in by Fitzgerald. Kazatanoff takes his man out of the play. Kozlov picks up the loose puck in the circle. The Soviets can't clear it out. McEachern goes after his man. Some good forechecking from him, but now the Soviets breaking. Looking to get by Wolonen. Wolonen a bit too tough right on that red line. Makarov over the red. Handling nicely, gives it off. The save is there. Kazatanoff had a shot from close in, and again, Van Biesbroek comes up with a big save. I have a feeling he must have heard me tell Coach Tim Taylor to take him out of the game because I didn't think he was playing that well. And he said, I'll show that guy.
Whoever or whatever he's heard, Paul, he's coming up with some big saves. A little bit of rough stuff after the play. There's the shot from number 7, Kасатонов. Van Biesbroek has got it. Watch the action that follows. Zamnov has shown that he's not going to stand in front of the goal. He spun around and knocked down. A couple other players come in and they battle it out around the front of the net. Face-off coming outside the zone because Konstantinov, number 16, came in from his blue line spot and got involved in the action around the front of the net. So that will move the puck outside the zone.
Byakin lost control of that, and eventually it comes back to Malahov. And the Soviets with a nice little pass there to Byakin, who shoots it to the far side. Goslin. Goslin being shadowed by Bartolnov. Zelepukin gets in there. The youngsters on the fourth line now, getting a share of the action. Byakin. Such a good little forecheck, and the loose puck is right there. Picked up by Brown, but Goslin was with his man all the way. The net eventually knocked off its moorings.
As you mentioned, Paul, players coming off the bench. The third, maybe some of them are fourth line players. 18. Vartalnov really going for it here. The net is dislodged. 28, Zelpukin, another guy who doesn't get a lot of ice time, really getting in there, getting stuck in. They want a regular shift, and they're going to prove that they deserve one.
The Americans are being told by Johansson that they're taking too long on the shift. I understand. They go over the boards, we go over the boards.
Nice and easy. But I read Johansson.
But they don't.
Then they can say, when I have my arm up.
Once your arm is up, nobody can say.
Yeah, they can say it.
Tim Taylor trying to show the referee why he's involved with Yale University. I don't know if it's going to work at all. But he's saying they go over the boards, we go over the boards. Johansson's saying, no, you do this, they do that. Anyways, the play will continue.
Tim Taylor, the coach, and a gentleman right to the very end. I'm sure in the NHL, the coach would have had a few things to say to the official other than yes, sir, and no, sir. Very calm, very cool under pressure here. The American coach, a lot of university, international experience, as Danton Cole starts things up for the Americans. Williams now. Williams shoots it into the Soviet zone. Less than 4 minutes on the clock. Kamensky gives that one away. That's tipped right in front. Miller shoots it back into the corner. Cole back to the Williams, and he takes the shot, and that's deflected at the last moment.
Brian Mullen positioned right in front of the goal, tried to get a piece of that one. Good work up front from Danton Cole. Very aggressive on the forecheck. There's Mullen in front. Trefilov didn't see much of that shot coming from Williams at the blue line.
Roenick in the face-off circle. Big Chicago Blackhawks star. So adept at taking that face-off. Kravchuk has that poked away from him. Behind the goal is Krieger. Krieger being pressed against the woodwork by Kravchuk. The pass out onto the right wing is Lomakin. Lomakin goes on his own. Van Biesbroek is down to make the save. Pushed to the far side by Wolanen. Wolanen gets the return pass and gives it back to Mantha. Mantha being shadowed by Lomakin. Krieger. Play has slowed right down here as we approach the 17-minute mark of the second period. Both teams have been skating hard throughout the first and second period. 10 goals have been scored. The Soviets lead it 6-4. And we still have a third period to play.
The Soviets showing their forecheck. Nemchinov always dangerous in the corners. Ties up Manta, and they're forced to take the face off. Both teams will change, keeping fresh bodies on the ice.
Zamnov against Malley. Zamnov picks it up. Malley grabs him, tries to push him along the boards. Some great strength there from Zamnov against Malley. Gets it right in front. Zamnov, only 20 years old, is playing like a veteran out there. He's skating in front of the net now. Kozlov, who's only 18, gives it off to Zamnov. He's taken out of the play. Konstantinov gets the shot. That took a deflection in the corner. And the Americans now. Malley breaking, looking for the pass. The pass didn't come, but Fitzgerald has a chance to get this one. Tipped into McEachern. McEachern working with Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald hooks and brings his man down. Eventually tumbles head first into the boards. high sticking is the call, and Fitzgerald must be hurting after that one.
Tom Fitzgerald going all out on the shift. Wants the mouthpiece out so he can give the ref some more verbal. Both teams really hooking and going at each other. It was pretty much 50-50. Konstantinov had a good hook on him earlier. It isn't going to matter. Johansson's already gone to the penalty box. He knows who he wants. Fitzgerald happens to be the man. Now you can see the referees calling for more players to join him. Fitzgerald, 22 years old, plays for the New York Islanders in the NHL. Very fiery player, really goes all out.
Eventually, number 9, Kozlov, makes his way to the box.
And we play 5-4.
We play 5 on 4. You can hear the Swedish referee.
5-4. One on the watch.
Weinrich is in the box. Now he's out of the box.
There's Konstantinov going to the corner. Fitzgerald gives him a hook. They both go crashing into the boards. Fitzgerald's neck sort of disappeared into his jersey on this one. Watch this, crunch. That's why they wear helmets and shoulder pads. Weinrich and young Kozlov got involved, and they go to the box for roughing. Those two penalties happening together, they'll play 5 on 4.
So it's starting to get physical down on the ice. 6-4 is the score. The Soviets leading the Americans here in the second period. The Soviet coaching personnel trying to work that one out. Wolonin goes back on the defense. The pass comes over now to Gusarov. Gusarov with less than 2 minutes on the period gives it to Kamensky. Kamensky works his way right in front of the goal. Pavel Buре drops it back to Kamensky. Gusarov. Kamensky. Kamensky takes the shot. Fetisov in the far corner. Looking for Kamensky. Has that batted off his stick. Manta doing some hooking, doing some holding. Pavel Buре. The Americans not allowing that box to break down. Fetisov to Pavel Buре. A nice little move by him to put it off the boards. He gets the return pass. He takes the shot. And Wiesbach gives it out, and eventually the USA cleared out of the zone. Kamensky. 55 seconds on the penalty. Right in front is Bykov. Then Wiesbach is there to make the save. Pavel Buре walking right in front of the goal.
Pavel Buре is so clever for a young kid. Always has his head up, looking for the pass, keeps coming, decides to come around the front of the goal himself. Van Biesbroek doing a good job as there's two Soviet forwards camped out right in front of him.
Bykov was there, as always. That's the place you expect to find him when Pavel Buре or Kamensky comes from behind the goal. 57 seconds on the period. 48 on the penalty, right in front. The shot there coming from Lomakin was wide of the target. Well, he's going to smack himself for that one. He had a wide open shot on goal.
I don't think he realized just how much time that he had on that one. Elected to take a lazy backhander and got nothing for it.
Mironov, the defenseman, flips it to the far side. The Soviets still with the pressure on. Back to the blue line. Mironov takes the shot. That's wide of the target. It comes out to the far side to Lomakin. 20 seconds now on the period. 10 seconds on the penalty. The box still maintaining its shape for the USA. 10 seconds on the penalty. Fitzgerald jumps on the ice, and Mironov picks up the puck. Some good stuff there by the USA to kill off that penalty. There goes the buzzer. to end the period, but there's really no stop in the action. Both teams throwing their weight around. The score after 2 periods of play here is 6-4. The Soviets in the lead over USA. We're going to take a break now. Join us in a moment for the start of the 3rd and final period. We'll be right back. Semak. And you can see the linesman telling Semak to face head on or get out of the circle. So Nemchinov will try his luck. Nemchinov wins it, gets it back to the blue line. That takes a deflection into the far corner. Krieger chips that nicely, looks for the return pass. Tipped down by a high stick, and so we'll have another face-off. Krieger, once he gets those wheels moving, he really can motor down the ice. It helped him greatly against the Finns when he scored that winning goal. That's the kind of thing now the Americans need to get themselves closer into this one.
There's the replay of the high stick, the face-off coming back into the American zone.
Weinrich takes his man out of the boards, and that goes back to Tredowitz. The tip just trickles out. Semak looking for the return pass. The break now on. Krieger on the backhand side, being shadowed there by Kravchuk. Krieger looking for someone to pass to as he tries to get it out. Kravchuk is all over him. Roenick goes in to help out. Roenick pumps that into the corner. Back to Roenick, the shot. Krieger just put it wide of the net. Krieger stopped the shot from Roenick. Weinrich picks it up now. Some good stuff from the Americans as they bring themselves back into this game here in the 3rd period. That shot was wide of the net.
This line of Amonte, Krieger, and Roenick so quick, and they do a lot of work on the forecheck.
Goslin to the far side. Shot into the corner. McEachern tried to get it out. Makarov. The return pass to him. Makarov always looking for someone to pass to. Gave it to Mironov, but he was closely covered. Fitzgerald, the wraparound is right there. McEachern comes in, takes the shot. He scores, but was the net off its moorings? The Swedish official has his arms out to indicate no goal.
He clearly has stated no goal. His arms immediately went out. The net was off its moorings before McEachern put the puck in the goal. Good work from Fitzgerald, really working hard, keeps his legs going, puts the puck out front. Both the players, Malley and Zamnov, are tied up. They're the ones that get the net to come off its moorings. There they are, pushing against Trefilov. Now McEachern comes in, throws a backhander into the net, but it's too late.
Face off in the neutral zone now with Malley tipping that forward. Kazanov on the backhand flip. Intercepted there by Peterson. He gets it out of USA territory, and Kazanov will do it all again. Intercepted by Malley. Malley tapping it forward to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald takes the shot. The save is there. Trefilov getting a piece of that, and that scoots into the corner, and the Soviets break now. Zamnov. The shot goes off a skate, and that deflects into the corner. Kazanov along the boards, batted back by Peterson. Makarov around one man. 3 minutes gone in the period. Makarov being tied up there by Peterson, and that's the best way to stop Makarov. Go after the body and just hang on. Emma, who hasn't seen a lot of action, is taken out of the play nicely in the neutral zone by Zamnov. The give and go there just didn't come off as Sacco intercepted. That took a weird bounce, and the Americans now under pressure from the Soviets in their own zone. Gutseyev in the corner, being shadowed by Sacco. Well, it took a long time for the whistle to come, but the referee lost sight of that puck. And so we'll have another face-off. Let's look at this again.
Good man-to-man coverage. Sacco getting back, helping out. Puck is underneath the players. They'll have a face-off. Americans slow to put the new line out on the ice. Sacco, Emma, some of the players that haven't seen a lot of action are getting back in there. Manta hasn't been out for a while. He's well rested. He's back on the ice.
Emma lost the draw. Coming in is Kvartalnov. Kvartalnov stick handling. One too many white shirts out there for him to go any further. Manta has that come off his stick, and the Soviets now back on the attack. Zelepukin, the shot. Van Biesbroek way out of the net to make the save. Really didn't have a move of muscle. Wolonin to the far side, looking for Sacco. Picked up by Emma. Trefilov gets a blocker on it. That comes to the side of the net. And the Americans looking for Emma to do the wraparound. Eventually the Soviets get it out into USA territory, going right in on goal. The save there, Van Biesbroek on Kvartalnov. Some good stuff from Van Biesbroek.
Both teams using their extra players, and it's paying off. Sacco's had a good opportunity, as well as number 9, Emma, and now the Soviets with Vartalnov and Zelepukin have had their chances as well.
Fetisov, the long pass up to Kamensky. Kamensky with Pavel Buda. Kamensky being shadowed there by Weinrich. Weinrich all over him, brings him down. And that comes out now with the Americans breaking with 4 players up on the ice. Goslin along the right wing. Miller goes after it. Miller taken out of the play. Bykov couldn't handle that. 5 minutes now gone in the period. Fetisov, Kamensky. Kamensky to the top of the circle, works his way right into it, and Williams is there. The shot comes, Pavel Bure tries to grab it. Weinrich gives that one up. Behind the goal, Pavel Bure. Bure, the backhander to Gusarov. Too hard for him, and he has to bring it out as the Soviet players come out of the zone. Both teams changing on the fly here. A good little poke check on the blue. Nemchinov will bring it over. Takes a poke from Amonte. Goslin stays on him. Roenick goes in and double teams. Nemchinov still brings himself back to the ice and gets back into the play. Krieger puts it behind the goal. The Americans now looking sharp as they bring it out. Roenick. Peterson to the far side. Peterson goes after his man. Peterson takes his man out of the play. Goslin goes in to help out. Nemchinov is brought to the ice again. Amonte. 6-4 the score here in the third and final period. The Americans trail by 2, but this one is far from over. Kravchuk will have to go all the way down the ice.
20-year-old who plays for CSKA. Looks up at the clock. He gets the call for interference away from the play. You can see the play breaking down the ice. That was the pass that was over to Cole. 2 players sliding out of your picture behind it. There you can see him on the left of your screen. Butseyev is the culprit. He gets the call.
A chance right now for USA with the power play for the next 2 minutes. The break now for Amonte, going down. Amonte takes the shot, the save there. Trefilov, Fetisov picks it up all the way down the ice. Trefilov so quick to react on that shot.
Good save from Trefilov. Didn't know where the rebound was, but he made the initial stop. That's the one that counted.
Roenick goes after Gusarov, who's lost his stick somewhere along the way. Fetisov goes into the far corner, but he doesn't need to do anything about it as Kamensky shoots it down the ice. Tredowitz along the boards, gets it over to Weinrich. Back to Tredowitz. Amonte is there with Roenick. Well, they're going to have to do better than that as Bykov puts that to the far side and Krieger picks it up. Along the boards, the return pass. Amonte gave it to Krieger. Gusarov missed the check, and Bykov comes in to help out on this side of the rink. Roenick is in the corner with Tredowitz. Kamensky takes him out of the play. Fetisov is brought to the ice. The crowd reacts, but there's no penalty on the play. A last-minute touch there by Bykov. Gets the puck away from Weinrich. Roenick now over the blue. Roenick takes a chop, but hangs on to the puck, drops it back. Roenick, the return pass. Roenick now, left all alone in the corner, gets it back to the blue line. into the circle. Amonte falls for no reason at all, and the Soviets with Fetisov shoot it down the ice.
Bad luck for Amonte. He really should have just slowed down and controlled the puck. Oh well, here they come on the fly again, trying to get something going with 10 seconds on their power play.
10.5 minutes gone in the period. The shot, Trefilov's there, the rebound is right in front. Peterson got a piece of that, it's still not away. Eventually it comes down, and the Soviets, Butseyev working his way in. He takes the shot, and the goal is dislodged. Action at both ends of the rink. Well, they're going to put the goal back on its moorings, and we're going to take a short break. The score is 6-4. The Soviets are in the lead. Turku, Finland, as we rejoin the action in the third period. The Soviets 6, the Americans 4. What a game we have as Kazanov gets it up on the wing to Zemnov. It really is wide open here in the third period. A lot of action at both ends. Both teams having their fair share of chances. Johansson calls a penalty for holding to David Williams.
He's got his man tied up, but Zemnov appears to just lose an edge and go down. He's not really grabbing him. Near the end of it, he might have had the left hand around further than you can see, but Zemnov really goes for a spin. William goes for a spin straight to the penalty box.
To Bykov, Komenta taken out of the play, and Krieger now comes back. Krieger tips it into the neutral zone. No one there to help him out, and back on the attack is Bykov. Bykov eventually molested down to the ice. And the Americans clear it all the way down as we approach the 13-minute mark of the period. A lot of support for the USA. Can they get it together and come back? They trail by 2. That comes all the way back to the blue. Fetisov, the top of the circle, takes the shot wide of the target. Kosatov has a lot of time to wind it up. That one's wide. Bykov now behind the goal. Bykov loses possession. That comes back to Fetisov. Buda to Bykov. Fetisov takes the shot. That took a deflection off Fitzgerald. Fetisov one-times it, and that's over the top of the net. It's like a shooting gallery out there with Fetisov having all the goes. Well, you talk about 3 for a quarter. Kamensky. Kosatov fakes the shot. Kamensky, Kosatov now takes the shot, and that's wide of the target as that booms off the backboards. 17 seconds on the penalty. Goslin takes his man out. Weinrich gets that as far as Kosatov. Fetisov one-times it this time, and again they miss the net.
The net, one of Fetisov's shots just about murdered Kamensky in front of the goal. He dove out of the way of that one, up off the plexi quite high. Soviets playing good controlled hockey, setting it up just how they want to, just unable to hit the net on this power play.
5 seconds remaining on the penalty. The long pass into the neutral zone, picked up by Cole. He waits for support. He's got Miller in front. Kravchuk picks it up, scoots it along the boards, but not far enough. Cole beats him to it. Cole working his way, gets it right in front. There's a loose puck there. There's going to be a penalty on the play. The Americans are back at full strength. Mullen behind the goal. Miller is right there. The Soviets touch it, and now there's going to be a penalty. Mironov looks at the referee in amazement. He can't believe it. He's going to go to the box for holding. The master explains how the game is supposed to be played to Igor Kravchuk, CSKA Moscow star. Viktor Tikhonov eats, sleeps, breathes ice hockey. He really does dedicate his entire life to this sport. Weinrich on the power play. Nemchinov shadows him. Krieger gets the wheels going. Konstantinov tries to stay with him, and he does. Oh, a great move by Konstantinov. Kazanov shoots it all the way around the boards and out of the zone. And the Americans will have to regroup and start it up again. Roenick is taken out in the neutral zone. Konstantinov, time to collect and backhand it into the zone. Tredowitz, 1:14 on the penalty. Roenick dropped that back. Danton Cole's shot was deflected into the corner. Amonte goes after it, slices at it, and puts it in the corner, but there's no one there to pick it up. Kazatanoff bangs it off the boards as far as Goslin. Goslin back behind the goal. Roenick picking that up in the corner. Roenick drops to the ice. Cole gives it right back to Roenick. The deflection is right in front. Byakin picks it up and goes for a skate.
Once again, the Americans really aggressive in the corners, but unable to put a pass together that gets them the shot that they want.
Makarov really likes to go out there when the team are down a man, because he likes to rag the puck and go for a skate. Look at this. Just like playing on the pond on a Sunday afternoon when it's frozen over, of course. He gets the puck and he just rags it, dipsy-doodle, bobs and weaves, and helps to kill off this Soviet penalty. 13 seconds on the clock for the Soviets to be shorthanded. Wolinen, the tip forward, feathered up to Cole. His pass is knocked down by Fetisov, and Mironov is back on the ice. We're approaching the 17-minute mark. 3 minutes on the clock. The backhand right to Trefilov from Cole calls for a face-off, and it'll give the teams what a formidable force out there. The Americans with 2 gold, 9 silver, and 5 bronze. Let's correct that and say 3 bronze. Fitzgerald on the boards. Pavel Buda. Buda taking on his man nicely. The save there from Van Beesbroek. Manta was all over him. Buda managed to get the shot away. So aggressive is that check just over the blue line. Allowed to flow, intercepted nicely by Krieger. Krieger's on the move now, he's got Mallied. The shot, the save, Trefilov pulled that one out of the air. How did he do that? The reaction from the Americans says it all. He thought he had a goal.
Todd Krieger's been so impressive for the Americans. He had the big goal against the Finns. He never stops. Really lets one go. Trefilov did well to come up with that save. A quick snapshot, got all of it though. Krieger's a never-say-die player who really can fly up and down the ice. We can't say enough about him. He's having a great tournament.
An excellent save from the 22-year-old goaltender. He came up trumps on that one. 6-4 the score as we approach the 18-minute mark of the period. The Americans now have their work cut out for them. The shot wide of the target coming from Lomakin. Lomakin tries to get the rebound, taken out by Williams along the boards, but the Soviets, Nemchinov gets the shot there. The backhander just doesn't come from Lomakin, and that squirts into the far corner. Weinrich heavily into the boards with Semak, and now the Americans have to come up with something. Krieger on that familiar left wing position goes up against Kazatanov. Krieger fighting all the way, loses out, and the Soviets now bringing it forward. Nemchinov, the return pass to him. Nemchinov right in front, the shot took a deflection. Semak got a piece of that, and that went into the corner. Kazatanov bats it into USA territory. Again, he pumps it into the zone. Roenick wants to get it out, but that's not the way to do it.
Both teams very tired.
Been great hosts. Zamnov loses it this time as we approach the 1-minute mark. The Americans are on the fly now. Shot into the corner, going after it is Mullen. He's beaten to it, and that's whistled all the way down the ice. Goslin goes after it, and we'll have a face-off deep in Soviet territory.
Less than a minute to go. Young number 9, Kozlov, the 18-year-old, plays in Kimmich, having a word with the referee about how he directed the puck with a skate. It isn't going to matter. The faceoff goes back into the Soviet zone. Kozlov asking the ref a couple of times, once about the trip that Cole gave him by kicking his skates out from under him, and then the play that was back in the zone. I don't know if the ref understood a word he was saying. The Americans need something, and they need it quick.
Lerking gets set for this face-off. It comes back to Wolonen. He tips it through. Miller is there. That deflects to the side of the goal. Pumped away by Trefilov. 45 seconds now on the clock. Manta takes a second attempt at that to get it into the zone. Gusarov on the backhand side being shadowed there by Mullen. Cole goes in, but that's flipped out into the neutral zone. The break is on now. Makarov picks it up. Offside is the call. And Makarov has words with McEachran there. Let's look at this again.
Oh, Tikhonov on the bench nearly smiled as Makarov's off to the races. He takes a good whack on the bum from Mo Manta. The play continues and the words continue. Roenick gets involved here with Zamnov. It's like a tea party out here. All the players in little groups having a chat.
30 seconds on the clock.
The Americans want to control this face-off. You can see Krieger's fighting for position. He really wants to get exactly where he wants to be, and he's not allowed to.
The Soviets win the face-off. Fetisov takes it out of the zone. Well, we're going to have some penalties on the play as it starts to get a bit rough here in the dying seconds of this game.
Roenick and Zamnov having a good go at each other. Yохансson doesn't like what he sees. One from each team will go to the penalty box. Zamnov on a roughing call. Roenick's going to go for high sticking. Makarov still involved. Not happy with that pat on the bum still, maybe. Having to go at anybody he can get near. The linesmen have done a good job keeping the players apart.
Watching Makarov videos, that was a Tyson video that talked him through that. 15 seconds on the clock. The Americans are not going to pull this one out. They've got 10 seconds. The shot is right there. A great save. And again, the action all around the Soviet goal, but nothing to show for it for the USA. Krieger looks at the clock, shakes his head. He knows it's over. 4 and 5 seconds over the years, but I don't think it'll happen today. The Soviets bring it out. Kamensky goes right down on goal. Kamensky, Van Biesbroek makes the save. There goes the buzzer. And the Soviets held it together as we came out of the third period. 6-4 is the final score. The Americans fought hard right to the final whistle, but it wasn't hard enough. The Soviets held on, and they win this one 6-4. Let's take a look at the standings. The Soviets